Hey everybody, how's it going? So unfortunately, I wasn't able to post anything last week. I was sick most of the week and I had to cancel some lessons. And also we had a windstorm and a big massive tree came down and crunched our our sunroof and sun porch, not sunroof, sun porch, and did some extensive damage and got a little bit of our house too. So yeah, I had a lot to deal with last week. I was just basically just trying to make it through the week. But I'm back now, so we're gonna get back to it. And what we're gonna do this week is, at least today, I'll probably shoot another video on something else later on in the week. But what we're gonna work on today is power chords, and this is really important because like almost every single rock song has power chords in them. That's the main ingredient in there because they sound nice and powerful. And this is an area where a lot of beginners struggle with because you really need to be able to stretch your fingers out a lot to be able to move around. And so that's what we're going to take a look at this week. So let me take the camera down and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what happens is, say you want to play the Nirvana tune. What happens is we use power chords. I was using a 3-finger power chord, but you can use 2-finger power chords. But if you're a beginner and you want to go and play that, what happens is you're going to have your finger over here and you're going to try to stretch over, and then you barely even be able to get it into the fret, never mind, trying to get it spread out where it's going to sound really nice and solid. So that's what we need to work on. We got to work on your ability to spread those fingers further. And this takes some time. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the power chords up further, because down here the frets are further apart. Over here they're closer together. So it just makes sense to start out way up here. So we're going to go to the 12th fret. And what you do is you go over 2 frets and then down to that next string. So you have an index finger on the 12th fret, go over 2 frets over, and then you go down to your A string, and that's on the 14th fret. So this is on the 12th fret, E string. This is on the 14th fret on the A string. There should always be an open fret right in between here. Shouldn't be any fingers in there. You're skipping over that fret, over 2, and down to the next string. And that's your power chord there on the E string. And then what you do over here is you want to make sure you're just hitting the E string and the A string. You don't want to be hitting more strings. Then it's not going to sound right. So hit only the E and A strings. And then here's one other tip. When we're doing these chords, we're trying to curve our fingers around so they're not touching the strings below. When you're playing the power chord, actually what you want to do is go ahead and lean your fingers over a little bit. So especially your ring finger is going to be leaned over onto the D string and muffling that out. So if you're playing this, by accident you're hitting that D string, it's not going to sound bad. Sure, this may ring out, but it decays really quick. And guess what? The other 2 notes are so loud, all distorted and everything. There's no way you're going to even hear that string. So let me play with muffled, with the D string muted out, and then also I'll play just those 2 strings. So here we go. Here is the chord. Just E and A. Now I'm going to muffle and play the 3 string. Just E and A. Muffle out play all 3 strings. Can you hear the difference at all? Probably not. and that's because I'm muffling out that D string, and it's just not coming through. So that's a really good thing you want to get used to when you're playing these power chords. It just gives you that little bit of a safety net. So what you can do here is you can hit the 12th fret, go down to the next fret, go down to the next fret, and you just keep going down. Then here's an important part of this though. Don't use your move your ring finger over and then stretch this finger out. It's the easy thing to do because then you can stretch your finger out further that way, as opposed to if you use your index finger, it's harder to go this way and stretch this finger outwards. Try it, you'll see that it's a bit harder, but you really need to make sure you're targeting your pointer finger first, because that is the root of the chord, and when we're playing the chords, that's what we're going to use to target wherever we need to go. You don't not want to target with your ring finger. So you'll be going like this. Say, here's that one. I want to bring my index finger down first and then reach over with that one with the ring finger, index finger, ring finger, and you just keep doing that. And you just keep bringing it down as far as you can go. So, you're going to come to a point where maybe you're over here and you could just barely able to make it over. Oh, there we go. And that's going to be like your limit as far as you can go. And, each day you kind of try to make yourself back, go down there. Little by little, that's going to stretch out. You'll be able to go one more fret down. That'll be your new limit. You keep going through there, and eventually your fingers will stretch out enough that you'll be able to actually play the F note, the F power chord right here at the first fret pretty easily. But that takes time, so just totally make sure you're working on technique and those are coming out really nice and clear. And again, making sure your index finger is getting targeted first and then your ring finger. And then eventually you want to come down on both at the same time, but at first you target that index finger, bring over your ring finger, make sure you're leaning it over, and you're only hitting just the E and A strings. And there you go. So it's a good exercise, but that can be kind of boring. Let's make it musical. So what we can do is go over here, 12th fret, play power chord there. And you can say play that and go 1, 2, 3, 4. We go with the 7th fret, 2, 3, 4, and then over here 5th fret, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So this one will be easier because they're close together. Then this one's going to be a little harder because now you're going to have to stretch a little bit more. And then even going down just 2 frets, that may challenge you even more. And that is going to help you, those fingers stretch out, and plus you're moving around, you're kind of doing it within a more musical, real life kind of situation. So you're going to, it's going to help you out in all kinds of different ways. So what you do is, again, you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want to get fancy, you can, do different kinds of rhythms, of course, if you're a beginner, that strum pattern is going to be a little bit too advanced for you, but I think you get the idea. You can experiment and come up with your own rhythms with that. So that way, you're playing something musical, working on stretching your fingers. And later on, you can go ahead and then maybe do a progression in this area. So you're using some of these that you're used to already, and you add in another one that where you got to stretch a little bit more, and then do another progression where you're playing the F chord right here at the first fret, and incorporating that. You have to stretch it even more, and maybe I'll do some videos on some progressions in this area also to kind of expand on that. But yeah, this is important. You want to make sure you're able to stretch these fingers out, and again, making it musical makes it a lot more fun, gives you a little bit more practical experience with it, and you're going to have to, it's going to be a little bit different when you're playing, because now you're not just going step by step and really thinking about it. You're going to have to play a chord, come down here and do everything that I told you to go through, all the steps instantly, and you have to go at it that way. So yeah, there's a little tune for you to mess around with. So this went a little longer than I was expecting, but that's okay. So yeah, mess around with that, the power chords, play the little tune. Again, maybe I'll make some more tunes up for you in the lower areas. And yeah, from there we can do stuff on the A string and mix them up and everything. But that's your general power chords, how to do your power chords. And oh yeah, one more thing. Anything that you're playing with, like say the Nirvana tune. You want to actually play along with that, and you're not good enough on the power chords yet. All you gotta do, just play the root for now. Anything with a power chord, you can just leave out that note and play the root chord, the root note, the note that your pointer is on, your index finger. So yeah, you can do that. Have fun with whatever song you're working on while you're perfecting the power chords. So there's a little tip. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and shoot them in the comments below. Otherwise, we will see you in the next lesson. All right, take it easy.